The past year has changed history, the world, and ourselves. Russia's unprovoked, unjustified, and premeditated war against Ukraine started in February 2022 and has put the world to the test.
We do not stand for freedom. Where it is at risk today will surely pay a steeper price tomorrow.
Putin's war brought unrest to the continent that has lived in peace for more than 75 years.
It is really a game changer.
To justify the invasion, Russia's war machinery pushed out lies about the West.
Если вы почитаете западных политиков, они однозначно говорят, что Россия должна потерпеть стратегическое поражение.
But is the West at war with Russia?
The short answer is no, and here's why.
Russia's military buildup on the Ukrainian border was visible from space. Putin rejected every effort made by the West and Ukraine to address mutual security concerns through diplomacy.
Запад врал о мире, а готовился к агрессии.
But the West was never preparing to attack any country. NATO has bordered Russia peacefully since 1949, and Putin even lied on the day his army began the invasion.
При этом в наши планы не входит оккупация украинских территорий.
To the Kremlin's so-called special military operation, Ukrainians responded with bravery that has inspired the world.
Ви, шановні європейські лідери, шановні світові лідери свободного світу, якщо ви нам сьогодні не допоможете, якщо ви потужно не допоможете Україні, то завтра війна постукає в ваші двері.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war. And now he and his country will bear the consequences.
The world, united in solidarity with Ukrainians, has accepted almost 8 million refugees and has imposed several rounds of economic sanctions against Russia.
In the rules-based international order, powerful countries can't just trample over the rights of other sovereign nations. That's why the United States and our NATO allies acted to support Ukraine's fight for freedom. As Putin realized he made a strategic blunder and couldn't conquer Ukraine quickly, he escalated the war by using brutal and illegal tactics like targeting civilians and critical infrastructure.
In response to Putin's brutal war, NATO allies and partners formed the Ukraine Defense Contact Group, where some 50 nations gather monthly to discuss military support to Ukraine. The support is working. Parts of Ukraine have been liberated.
Our work shows how much nations of goodwill can achieve when we work together. And it shows our long-term commitment to supporting Ukraine against Russia's unprovoked aggression.
Facing staggering losses, Putin escalated the war further by using drones to target civilians and infrastructure.
Members of this contact group are standing up for a world where rules matter, and where rights matter, and where sovereignty is respected.
This includes all NATO allies. Now, does it mean that NATO's at war with Russia? No. NATO troops are not on the ground, but NATO allies are supporting Ukraine, and this is an important distinction. In addition to Putin's horrific attacks on Ukrainians, Russia is also waging an information war, putting out false narratives about its war aims and silencing its domestic opposition at home.
Putin's war machinery continues to lie, trying to justify their brutality as an existential struggle for Russia's survival against Zapad, Russian for the West, and alleged Western threats. Putin manipulates historical facts and compares himself to Russian Tsar Peter the Great to justify his imperialistic ambitions.
We know that to maintain their grip on power, authoritarians manufacture external threats.
NATO is not a threat to Russia.
Ours is a defensive alliance. We seek no conflict, but if conflict comes to us, we're ready for it.
Russia tried to scare the world off from supporting Ukraine. From digging trenches at the site of the historic nuclear disaster in Chernobyl and shelling the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe, in Zaporizhia, to threatening to use nuclear weapons, the world saw through Russia's threats. Russia tried to blackmail the world by causing food and energy insecurity. Russia tried to divide and deceive the world with organizing sham referenda.
Democracies around the world are aghast at what's happening, and it's not just NATO allies. Countries around the world are stepping up to support Ukraine.
President Putin wants less NATO. President Putin is getting more NATO by Finland and Sweden joining our alliance.
And the world sees that what's at stake stretches well beyond Ukraine.
1 year later, Kyiv stands, and Ukraine stands. Democracy stands. The Americans stand with you, and the world stands with you.
Look, we all know that in the face of injustice, if we remain neutral, we've chosen the side of the oppressor. What is just at this moment is defending the Ukrainian people from a senseless war. What is right is restoring peace to Ukraine and to Europe. Brave Ukrainians are doing what's right by defending their country from outside aggression. Our leaders are committed to continuing to support their fight. But I urge you also to support Ukrainians and reject Russia's war. Call out Putin's disinformation efforts and instead share what's really happening to Ukraine. That way, we shine a light on the Ukrainian people's accounts and let them take back control of their story.
Слава Україні!